Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Global Head of Engineering and Infrastructure, Facebook, Jay Parikh.
Morning. How's everyone this morning? Yeah? You guys ready for a big day? Awesome. Well, we got a lot of great stuff to talk about, so I hope everybody is ready for what we're about to do today. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking a little bit about our community today that we're building here at Scale. Now, we have about 1,800 people registered here for the conference today, and that's about double what we actually had for last year's conference. Now, when we look at the community and that we're building, we have the 1,800 registered attendees that I mentioned, but it also represents 400 different companies, which is just incredible to see the interest from the overall community in what we're trying to build here at Scale. Now, we did some math and we did take a look at what the community, what you all are creating for at Scale in the community and open source, and we found that there's 4,500 open source projects that have been created over the last several years of building during the at-scale community. So over the last 3 to 4 years that we've been doing this conference, 4,500 projects have been open source contributed to GitHub by you all. So give yourself a big round of applause for that. Now, what I found even more interesting is that 1,500 of the projects have been created just in the last year. So a year ago when we kicked off at Scale, till now, we have 1,500 new projects that have been created. So the momentum is definitely building, and it's really exciting to see this. Now, okay, so you say, great, that's a lot of projects, but is there really any impact here, and is this having any meaning in the community? Well, we did some more digging, and we found that 1 million engineers are following these projects. So we have 1 million engineers around the world that are following all of the work that you guys are creating and putting into the community that is known as at Scale. So that's pretty awesome, isn't it? I think so. All right, and if that wasn't good enough, as we did last year, we're taking all of the registration fees from you all and sending it over to our friends at code.org so that they can drive the awareness and drive the increase in the number of CS students that are coming into our community and working in technology. So this is just an awesome cause. We all believe really strongly in diversity and increasing the number of CS students in the community. So thank you guys for your contributions today. All right, so how many of you have actually, is this the first at Scale conference? Can you raise your hands? Wow, okay, I did not expect that many new noobs. All right, so I think it makes sense for us to recap, or makes sense for me to recap why we're all here. And it boils down to, I think, three key principles for us, which is one is that, and why I think this community is different, is that we're all focused on developing technology that solves problems at scale. We're dealing with unprecedented problems, and we're trying to solve these challenges that aren't being solved anywhere in our industry. And so like these scale problems are really, really critical for driving the advancement of our products, of our technology, of our systems, et cetera. Now, the second principle that we have here is that we're working together in the open. We're trying to build a community, and we're trying to build awareness around doing all of these problem solving that we're doing in the open, contributing our source code, talking about what we're doing and the problems that we're solving at events like this. The third principle that we have is we're really just trying to innovate, and specifically innovate a lot faster. We want to push the industry to accelerate its innovation. And we're solving problems, whether it be finding and building better developer tools that will help the engineers at your companies iterate and build products faster, to building data systems that allow us to collect and store and actually analyze the data that is critical for our business functions in a faster and sort of more reliable way, to actually coming up with new ways to build mobile products so that we can actually build and ship products faster and more reliably, and they perform better. So all of this is really trying to push the industry to move faster on all of these fronts. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about what we're all learning at Facebook, and a key part of today is really why we're here is about learning from each other. It's, you know, engineers talking to engineers, sharing war stories, best practices, what we're building, et cetera. One of the projects that we've been working on, initiatives that we've been working on at Facebook for the last year or so, has been investing a lot more in video and the experience of video in the platform. Now, when Facebook was founded, it was primarily a text-based site. There was status posts and there was wall posts, etc. We moved into a world where most of the world today is focused on photos. But we're quickly moving into this world where I think in the next couple of years, most of the experience on Facebook is going to be about video. Now, it doesn't just stop with videos. It will move into, and what we see happening in the next couple of years, is bringing augmented reality and virtual reality to the experience that is on Facebook. So these focuses on video and AR and VR and other things that I'll talk about really do put a lot of interesting challenges in front of our teams in terms of what we need to prepare for and what we need to build for. Now, I want to spend a little bit of time saying, okay, after this year that we've been investing a lot more in video, we've come up with 3 key learnings. The team has come up with 3 key learnings that I think are important to share with you all today, because I think as the world moves to more and more richer experiences, as you guys all have to handle this, I think, richer, immersive experience, videos, AR, VR, other experiences that will change the way you develop your products, we all have to be ready. And there's 3 key principles that I wanted to talk about today. Now, what we're up against is that we see daily video views growing rapidly. A year ago, we were serving about 1 billion or so daily video views. That's 1 billion daily video views, right? We've ramped up rapidly, and now we are at 4 billion video views per day. So this is scaling rapidly for us, right? And we really have to be ready for all of the changes that happen on the product. Now, we also launched a product a couple months ago, about a month ago, that was a live streaming service for celebrities. And on day 1, we actually saw several celebrities stream live broadcast, and each of these celebrities had more than 150,000 subscribers each on a single stream. So that was quite a launch day when we had to be ready for just such a spike in load and making sure the product worked and was reliable. Okay, so the 3 principles that I want to talk about are 3 key learnings, boil down to planning, iteration, and performance. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about each one of these, because I think as you guys plan and think about your days today and how to do better and how to learn from each other, I think hopefully these will influence takeaways for you and your team as you go back tomorrow and start working on the cool stuff that you guys are building. All right, so planning. Now, I often think that planning is one of the 2 bad P words in technology, right? Planning and process. We all hate those 2 words, right? Now, I think that when we started working on this, we realized that we're operating at a terabit level scale in terms of our network, right? So getting it wrong or guessing to figure out how we're going to build this network isn't going to cut it for us, because getting a terabit scale network capacity plan wrong and performance wrong has massive consequences on not delivering a really good product. So we invested a lot of time and engineering time into developing really sophisticated instrumentation. The instrumentation in the product was something that we did from the beginning so that we would have this key insight so that we could make these decisions. And we really want to feed that information into building a faster, a better, and a cheaper network for us. Now, here's a quick visualization. I want to take you through one example of what we did here. And you can see here a map of the world here, and it's shaded different shades of green here. And what this represents is what we call a metric internally that we call playback success rate. And what this means is what percentage of these geographies has a playback success rate where the video starts to play under 1 second. Now, this is just one example of the metrics that we have around performance, and you can see the rough shading here. But for us, was really tricky because these metrics can be elusive, right? They can actually be misleading in terms of what they're telling you because they're just at the aggregate level. And aggregates usually represent some sort of average, and averages are evil, right? Averages really lead you astray in terms of the analysis here. So we spent time really kind of getting more sophisticated in this analysis here, and this is what we came up with, is we're able to take and zoom in on a specific country, say India, And we know that there's 100 million plus Facebook users in India, so that can't just be all distributed kind of uniformly as one country. Now, we can even get more fine-grained than this, and we can actually get down to the state level inside of India, and then we can keep going. And I'm going to stop after showing a couple of these cities here, but we can actually get down to the city level, we can get down even finer grained level of analysis here, so that we understand what we need to do in building out our network. And we want to make sure that we look at the whole world, we look at these different areas that people are consuming and using video, and then we can optimize the experience for that. Now you can see here, you know, we have some work to do in a couple of these cities in India, and we need to get better. Now again, the key takeaway for you all in planning is that planning's not a bad word, right? If done correctly, if you use this instrumentation, if you have people who are mining it and who are understanding it, you're going to be able to build a more flexible infrastructure, you're going to be able to build a more flexible product, and you're going to give this power and this flexibility to your product development teams. And that's exactly what we're seeing at Facebook, is that by understanding what's happening in terms of the production and the consumption and the performance and how the network is performing, we're able to actually work hand in hand with the product teams and build a better product that is just going to perform better, and that's going to optimize our cost, and that we're actually going to be able to be ready for any new features that come out in the product teams. All right, so I want to move on to iteration. Now, iteration isn't a new concept. Everybody here, I think, likes to move fast. They like to build stuff, put it out there, measure it, make it better, measure it, make it better. But I think, you know, one of the things that we learned here is that it really does apply not just to features, right? It actually applies to sort of a key part of the flows and a key part of the user experience here. Now, for us, it was funny because all of the instrumentation that we had put into the product led us to believe that we were doing okay on sort of upload. And believe it or not, you actually need to have very good upload reliability in order for videos to get in the system. If users, if business folks, and celebrities can't upload videos, then there's actually nothing to serve and the problem solved. But turns out when we actually did our instrumentation, we found stuff like this. Now, if you can't see this in the back, that says 82 hours. So one of our engineers is in India trying to upload just some video, some small video, and our device, our application is saying you will have to wait 82 hours for this video to finish uploading. Now, who's going to wait 82 hours? Yeah, really frustrating. This is the kind of stuff that we found as we started digging into this. Now, it got to be even more complicated than this because, you know, with Facebook's reach and the number of people who are using Facebook, we see just an immense number of devices in the world, tens of thousands of unique devices. They have different amounts of memory, different types of CPUs, different screen sizes. And really, we had to kind of break this down into what we call year class analysis and group these devices into these different year classes, understanding what the physical compute power was of these devices, and then trying to devise optimizations for making sure that upload reliability improved on them. And we took advantage of being able to do on-device encoding, we optimized the network stack, and we worked on just better handling of videos when you have these memory-constrained environments or these devices. Now, if that didn't get hard enough for you, or for us, we then looked at a map here, and this is a map that we actually produced from our connectivity lab team. And it's a map of the world in terms of connectivity that people on Facebook generally connect over. And believe it or not, most of the world is not on LTE and, you know, carrying around an iPhone 6 or 6S now. If you take away the LTE connections here, you can see that the vast majority of the world is still on these crappy 3G and 2G networks, right? And so this, when you start to add this to the problem of tens of thousands of different devices, made this problem really, really hard. So we've been just grinding it out. You know, these 1% gains that we strive for are really hard to find, but we bring together a cross-functional team across the product, the back end, the marketing teams, the network teams, really trying to find these gains. And for us, 1% gains will impact millions of people. So this is a big deal, right? And really focused on that, never giving up and kind of making sure that we keep chipping away at this problem and making it better. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, we started to look at some of the UI stuff, and this is another embarrassing example. Turns out that when you put a big stinking cancel button on the screen, that people hit it. And in fact, like 10% of the people would just hit it. And they didn't mean to, they would just hit it and cancel their uploads. So we had to even look at the flows in the user experience, in the application itself, to find where there was just stupid things happening that were getting people interrupted or interrupting people from sharing these media or these video experiences. All right, so iteration. Again, it's not a new concept, but I think it's really, really important that we take this concept of iterating, finding these 1% gains over and over again, bringing the cross-functional team together to chip away and making these key parts of your application or your service better and better over time. All right, the last principle I want to talk about is performance. Now, who here thinks performance is important? Only half of you? Okay. The rest of you are liars. Or your manager's there and you can't say it's important, right? So one of the things that, I guess on performance for us, it's been about incorporating performance at the beginning of the process. What we found in years of doing this was that if you save for making things fast till the end after you shipped a product, guess what? You never work on it. You never come back to it. There's always something else after that. And by then, you've made all these decisions to make your app just beautiful and gorgeous and serve the needs of the people you're building it for, but you never designed it for speed in mind. And so clawing back and making it fast at the end is just a waste of time in most cases. So really, we had to spend time thinking about performance as a feature and bringing performance in at the very onset of the project and making sure it was incorporated in everything. Now, one of the things that we did is we looked at our encoding. So once the video comes into Facebook on our servers, traditionally you kind of put it on a server and you just let the server chug away and encode. And this could take a really long time, right? If I'm a user somewhere in the world, I capture this really amazing moment. I want to share it with my friends, and I want instant feedback. I want comments, likes. I want to see what other people are seeing. Maybe I'm at a concert. Maybe I'm at a football game. And waiting there for 10, 30 minutes is really, really frustrating, right? You're not going to come back and share an experience like that ever again. So what we did is we took a very simple approach to this, and we said, you know what? We're going to take that file. We're going to break it up into a bunch of chunks. We're going to take that big, long video file. We're going to break it up into a bunch of chunks. We're going to send each of these chunks off to different servers, and then each server will kind of chug away in parallel. And at the end, we'll grab all these encoded chunks and put it back together in one file. Now, it's pretty dramatic here. It's simple concept here, but we were able to take some of these longer media files that would normally take 5 to 10 minutes to encode, and we're able to bring that down to way less than a minute. So it's pretty dramatic in terms of improving the end-to-end user experience here. Now, we didn't stop there, because this is kind of cool, it's simple, it had a really good impact. But we were really concerned as I talked to you about the network. We have a lot of different people using different devices and different networks across Facebook. And that made us really think and actually work hard on how do we save bandwidth? How do we save the file size here? How do we reduce the file size here so that we can be kind to carrier networks, these congested networks? And how do we be kind to people's data plans around the world? So we took our investment in artificial intelligence and machine learning that we've been building for a couple years now, and we combined it with this encoding process. And so what we're able to do at just a high level I'm going to explain here is we're able to take, and these are 3 different video clips that may have been uploaded by somebody, and we break these down into different scenes. And then each scene is sent off to the neural network. And the neural network will look at things like lighting, motion, color, and lots of other dimensions of each one of these scenes. And then based on this vast training model that the neural network has been built to have over a period of time, it will send back recommendations to the encoders. So each one of these scenes will then get optimized for quality, and it will get optimized for the smallest file size. Now, all these then files are glued together at the end, and then we have this high-quality stream. And we've seen double-digit savings in the overall file size. Again, bringing down the amount of data that's transmitted over the carrier networks, and also what is happening when I'm a user consuming this and being friendlier to my data plan. So this is really cool, and you see this combination of what we've been doing in the artificial intelligence world kind of combining it with this problem of needing to produce these low byte size files, keeping the quality that we have. All right, the last piece of performance really applied to our product launch that is live mentions. We launched this product a few weeks ago, and the expectation here from the celebrities was that this thing just worked day one, right? There was no, hey, this thing can be slow, or it can be buffering, or people can't connect to it. We really had to be prepared, as I talked about earlier. And we built this infrastructure. It was really kind of crazy at a breakneck speed of only like a few months. We had to pull everything together and actually be able to build out the entire back end and scale and be ready for scaling for the first day of launch. Now, we had two performance issues to worry about here. One is on upload. Celebrities, they're going to take their live streams wherever they are in the world. And turns out that they actually do not have very good networks at times. And so here's a live streaming clip of one of the celebrities that used this on day one, and he's water skiing. He was doing like flips and jumps and stuff like that in a boat somewhere in the world, and we had to make sure that that stream quality was just awesome. So you guys have all heard about things like adaptive bitrate on the download. We're using something very similar, but on the upload, so that as these live shots are being taken by celebrities around the world, we can adjust based on the phone, based on the network, based on what's happening, and make sure that we're sending a nice quality stream, but also being sensitive of the fact that maybe the network's a little bit choppy. Okay, so another thing that we had to do is once a celebrity starts a live stream like this, lots of people could get notified, all of their fans could get notified that they're going to start filming something. Now, this introduces a huge problem, because if those notifications go out to thousands, tens, or hundreds of thousands of people, and everybody starts watching, we have this thundering herd problem to be aware of or to be ready for. Now, that's where everybody kind of jumps in and says, hey, I want to watch this thing. Now, if we passed all of this traffic from people through our edge to the origin like this, then it would overwhelm the network. It would slow everything down. It would overwhelm the origin. And ultimately, we deliver just a really crappy experience to the people that are trying to get a hold of it. And the celebrities would get mad, and people would get mad, and everybody would go away. So what we did here is we introduced a concept of basically blocking the stream. So all of the streams come in still to the edge, but until we've actually pulled a reliable stream out to the edge and cached it, we won't actually start serving the stream to all of these people. So we're able to kind of really optimize the network, bring the stream out to this huge edge network of ours, and then fan out there and be able to scale rapidly from just 0 people watching the stream to, like I said, 150,000 people watching a single stream within the matter of seconds. Okay, so performance. We're really focused on performance. Again, as I said, performance is really a feature here, and consider it early in your product cycles. This is one of those things where if you forget about it and do it at the end, you're not going to do it, and it has huge impact in terms of your business metrics. Now, that's all for me. I wanted to just recap here that we've got 3 tracks coming up later today. We're going to get through the rest of the morning keynotes. We've got a data track, a mobile track, dev tools, and there's lots of really cool announcements from all of the companies that are represented here. So I hope you'll stay tuned, because there's just a really, really phenomenal set of technology and stories and open source projects that are going to be released today. So there's lots of goodies today. Now, I'm particularly excited about one last thing here at Facebook, is that you guys have hopefully seen and heard our work on React and React Native. We've open sourced React Native for iOS a while ago, but today we're going to actually announce React Native for Android. So now you're going to be able to build your applications using React Native for iOS and for Android at the same time and be able to speed up your development. Yeah. All right, very good. Thank you guys. And again, focus on meeting people today. Stay awake, pay attention. There's a lot of goodness happening today. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited that you guys are making the time to participate and have fun today. Thank you.